Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Live from the Works. I've just realised I have left my dehumidifier on. There we go, I fixed that. Lovely stuff, and the camera has switched into low light mode again, so it's not working properly. Just go into the settings, untick low light compensation. There we go, I now look a lot less like a 90s video game. Hello! Who do we have in the chat room? Ekage is here, the DTS Workshops is here, East Coast Steam is here, greetings to all of you, and who else is here? Imp344 aka Zach is here. Hello to all of you. How are we all doing? I hope you're all having a good week. My week's okay, I guess. My mood's been in a bit of a weird place. Just sort of sitting with some stuff. I went off on a rant on Discord last night about this, so I won't repeat it in full. But basically, I went on a training course a couple of weeks ago, which was good fun. I enjoyed it. I learnt a lot, and we discussed like through and unit diagrams for train operating companies and did some exercise around it, and it was brilliant. I learned loads. It was great fun. It answered some questions I had about, you know, the whole train planning process. It was really good, but the conversations that took place may have brought up some feelings about my mainline guard career and how that career ended that I thought I'd dealt with, and I don't think I've dealt with them, so I'm just sitting with those at the moment. Yeah, I really need to go to therapy. Anyway, enough about that. Celestial Toymaker is here too. Hello, welcome. Work has moved my schedule about, so I've not been able to attend these, but this week is abnormal, so I can be here. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, it's lovely to see you again. Welcome. He is hoping there will be more abnormal work schedules in the future for you. Fingers crossed. I would dearly like to see you again in the future. But welcome. Glad you can join us tonight. Yes, who else is in the chat room? It's just those people I've already mentioned. Hello to all of you. How are you all doing? How do trains How do trains go at their jobs? Oh, okay. How do trains go to their jobs? Training. Saturday, 23rd of September, 18:30, BBC One. I assume we're getting a new Doctor Who trailer. That's exciting. I'm not excited about Doctor Who. I don't know what you're talking about. It is quite exciting, though, isn't it? Happy times. Matt, what are you planning? Matt, when planning, are you just putting postcodes in their sat navs? Okay. Now, there's a little exercise I can do that will explain this. Have I got time tonight? Probably. Do I have the materials I need? Probably not. Hang on. Just having a look, see. Have I got any scrap paper or anything? I've got a notepad. Notepad will probably work. Right, let me... I'll explain how train planning works. So, hang on. Let me just bring you over to the close-up camera a second. We'll get to that in a minute. Right, so we've got a notepad here. Right, so this is how train planning works. So along here on this collar axis, you've got various timing points or tip blocks. They're called timing point locations. Tip block. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Let's go with that and just do that down there. And then along the bottom axis, you have time. So 8, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 9. 1, This is not done in any sort of real sensible fashion, but we're all with it. So you've got 808, 805, 810, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and the hour. 9. 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, etc. Okay, so this axis represents time, this axis represents destinations. So, in order to plot a train going from A to G, say it departs A at 8:05, so you start there, leaves A, and say it takes 10 minutes to travel between A and B. So that's your next bit. And then B to C is 5 minutes, so let's do that. C to D is a bit longer, that's more like 15 minutes, so that's there. E is 5 minutes, F is 10 minutes, and G is 5 minutes, so down here. Yeah, there you go. So what you end up with is a line on a graph that shows your train travelling between the timing points, right? So that's train A. We'll call that 1 Golf 01, right? You've now got another train that departs at, let's say, 8:15 from station A, and that's going to station D. So starts from station A, yeah. That takes 10 minutes, so 10 minutes. Another 5 minutes to go to C, yeah. And then it takes a little bit longer because it's stopping at D, say 10 minutes. This is a gross oversimplification, but yeah, there you go. So that's there like that, and then like that. There we are. So that takes a bit longer. There we are. Oh no, sorry, I've done that the wrong way around. That's quicker. No, never mind. It's quicker to get to there because of reasons. Now, if you need, say, 10 minutes of headway on a section of railway, this is non-compliant now. So I need to do something to fiddle with it. So I might add some pathing in, for example, and say give it 10 minutes there. So now the graph line is doing that, and that is now a compliant train, and that's how long it takes to get there. And then in the same sort of direction, you've got a train starting at 8:05 from G. It takes 5 minutes to get to F, and then 10 minutes to get to E, and then how far did we say to D? 5 minutes to D, and then at D, it's a little bit awkward because we've got a single line section between D and C. So he then has to wait for all of these to go past, right? Wait that 5 more minutes. So he's dwelling there. He's a freight train. He can sit and dwell at D while these trains leave the single line, and then he can carry on up where he's going to C, which is, we decided 15 minutes. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 15 minutes, and then 5 minutes to B, and 10 minutes to A. So then we've got a it's not a very straight line, but we'll roll with it. There we go. And that's another train. So we'll call that one 1 Alpha 02. And then this one can be 1 Delta 03. There you go. And this basically is how train planning works. It is a little bit, I suppose, like putting a postcode in the sat-nav. That's pretty much what it is. So you're putting your timing points in. Okay, so I want my train to start at A and go to G, but to get it there I've got to go via B, C, D, E and F. Like so. Yeah. And that, roughly, is how train planning works. And I've grossly oversimplified this because I haven't talked about things like adjustment time and junction margin. Headway is the only one I really touched on. You have to maintain a minimum separation between your trains. So like I can't just put a train in there like that because that won't be headway compliant. So any new train I need to put in needs to go here, like so. So around that way. There we go. But now that's non-compliant with this one, because this one's coming onto the single line, and oh no, you can't have that train, so you'll have to go later, and you get the idea. Anyway, that broadly is my day job. That is how you plan trains, and it's a lot of fun, and I enjoy doing it. I do all of this on a computer now. Until about 2006, they were doing this on graph paper. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy my job immensely. That's how train planning works, in a very basic sense. Do I make decisions on whether a train uses fast, slow lines and prioritising certain traffic? Sort of. So my job is to words. So Dalek Sarnin with the donations. Thank you very much. Battleship. Oh wait, never mind. It looks like the pain of the graph editor in Source Filmmaker. Kind of, I suppose. Right. Yes. I kind of have that power. Basically, I work in what's called the Permanent Freight Team, which is a team that specifically plans freight trains for the working timetable. So once the working timetable is put in, I do something called a rolling spot bid, which is where an operator will send us an email and go, hey, we want to run a train from A to B at these times. So I will look in the timetable, see if that train's compliant with everything else, and then go, hey, yeah, your train's compliant, you can have that. Or, no, your train's not compliant, you can't have that, but you can have this. Or if I can't make it work, no, your train's not compliant, reject it. Yeah, I can move things around. Basically, my job isn't to plan the train from scratch necessarily. It's to look at the bid that the operator has sent me and import it into the train planning software, and then cross-check their work, essentially. I can make sort of reasonable changes. So if I'm planning, say, a train on the East Coast Main Line, and there's non-compliance with a passenger train. So if you hang on, let's briefly go back to my graph again. I'll do a really simple one this time. So let's say you've got A, B, and C, and then under B there's a goods loop. So goods loop. There we go. Like that. Boom. Okay. So that's our time axis. So, say I've got a freight train going from A to C, like so. And my freight train is going to take a really long time to travel between those 2 points, right? Now, unfortunately, my train has to have, say, 10 minutes of headway with whatever is around it. Unfortunately, I've got this irritating express service here, which takes 10 minutes to 15 minutes to do a journey. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 15 minutes to do the journey from A to C. So it's doing that. That's not going to work for me. So what I can do instead is run my train a bit earlier, down to B goods loop down here, stick a dwell in, wait for this train to go away, and then run to C, like so. Now, I've got the power to do that within reason. There might be a very good reason why I can't run this train earlier. So, for example, let's say this is a container train coming from somewhere like Felixstowe and going down to Daventry, say, near Northampton. They might have a specific time that they have to be at Felixstowe in order to load their cargo. So they might only be able to get to Tiplock A at this time. So by me saying, oh, I can just run it 20 minutes earlier, they might go, no you can't, that's our delivery slot, we won't be able to get loaded in time, in which case, sorry, rejected. Likewise, there might be a reason they can't arrive late. They might have time-sensitive cargo. if they're taking cargo, say, from Daventry to Felixstowe to meet a departing ship, the ship ain't going to wait. It's just going to go when it's timetabled to go. So me saying, oh, I can get you into the port of Felixstowe 30 minutes later, the operator might come back and go, well, yeah, but we won't be able to unload our train and get our container on the ship in time. In which case, oh, well, sorry, rejected. It's... yeah. What gets priority? Technically, I'm not sure how much of this I'm allowed to tell you. I think most of this is all in the public domain. If you go and have a look on the Network Rail website, all of this stuff is there. And it's quite an interesting read. But we are not supposed to give priority to any particular operator or any type of traffic. Now, there are certain exceptions to this. The Royal Train, for example, that gets priority over everything. Nuclear flask trains, although they don't necessarily get priority over other trains, there are certain restrictions we have to abide by with them. Nuclear trains are only planned by a certain number of people who have had security checks done. My team doesn't touch those. we can't be trusted with that. But the reason for that is with nuclear flask trains, you have to... you basically have to abide by a certain set of restrictions. They're what we call an exceptional load. And one of the restrictions on that load is if you're parking it in a station for any period of time, you need to have an armed police presence. So nuclear trains, you want to avoid dwelling in a station. You want to stick them in a goods loop somewhere out of the way where no one can get to them. If you do have to stop them in a station, I think it's anything over 10 minutes, if you're dwelling at a station, you have to have an armed police presence there. So, yeah, that gets complicated. Zaki's right, by the way. Priority does sort of depend on head code and type of train. Although it's not... it's kind of right, but also not necessarily. So, basically, you've got certain types of head codes that denote what a train is. So, you have... Going back to the close-up camera and the graph again. I will get round to reviewing this in a minute. Anyway, so head codes. How do head codes work? So head codes are broken down into letters and numbers. So if I write down a number here. So let's say 4 Mike 01. So this one here, that's your train class. That first digit is your train class. So that denotes what type of train it is. A 4 head code means it's a class 4 freight. A 1 head code is an express passenger service. A 2 head code is a stopping passenger service. A 3 head code is, I believe that's an empty coaching stock. I could be wrong. Anyway, 4 is a freight head code. The letter denotes where the train is going. What is that dinging? Is that Discord? I think it's Discord. Yeah, it looks like it's Discord. I'm just going to go ahead and close that. Right. Yes, so the second digit denotes where your train's going. So an M might be your train is going somewhere in the Midland region, for example. If it's a passenger train, you might have a 1T, which means goes to Tring, or coming from Tring. And then the 2 letters at the back are, very simply, they just denote, they separate the train out from other trains. So a 4 Mike 01 will be distinctive from a 4 Mike 02. This is how you identify what a train is, where it's going, and where it is on the network. There's an extra bit in our planning software where we add an additional 2 letters at the end. This means we can have multiple, say, 4 Mike 01s, but we'll differentiate between them and what they're doing. You can't have the same head code, so those first 4 digits, in a particular signalling area within 6 hours of one another. All of the head codes have to be distinctive from one another over a 6-hour period. So you can't run a 4 Mike 01 at say 8 o'clock, and then run another 4 mic 01 at 12 o'clock. So your 12 o'clock variant would have to be 4 mic 02 and 03 and so on. And this is how you track where a train is on the network via the signalling system, where it's going, what it's doing, etc. Yes, so it's class 4 freight with a maximum speed of 75 miles per hour. That is correct, Zach. Absolutely. So these things do kind of get a priority over one another, but not because they're more important than one another. We're not supposed to differentiate between types of train or anything like that. Everyone is supposed to have fair access to the network. It's written into a document called the Network Code. It's which is a document that basically Network Rail and all the operators have agreed to abide by in order to run on the network. So the Network Code says we can't prioritise a particular operator or type of train. So if there's a bit of white space on the graph, and we're preparing the timetable change for, say, December 2023, and 2 bids come in at the same time, and a passenger operator says, we want to run a stopping passenger service from point A to point B at these times. And a freight operator bids and says, we want to run a freight service running from, say, Daventry to Southampton, and it has to go via A through to B at these times. If those 2 trains clash with one another, our job as planners is to try and find a way to make both of them work. So be that saying to the passenger operator, right, you can't have that because we've got this train here at the moment. The most basic thing you would use to actually plan those 2 trains and decide which one gets to the space is, right, which one came in first. It's literally as simple as that. If one came in on a Monday and the other one came in, say, on a Tuesday, then this is a gross oversimplification. But if one came in on a Monday and one came in on a Tuesday, the one that came in on Monday would get priority. If they both came in on a Monday before 10 o'clock, which I believe is the time of our cut-off for the day, anything received after that is considered to have been received on the next working day. If they both bid in before that time, then they've both been received at the same time, and that's when you apply something called the decision criteria. So you look at both of the trains, and there are 10 different decision criteria you have to run through, and I can't remember what all of them are, but basically you look at things like, the commercial, what's the word I'm looking for here? The commercial impact on the operator of running or not running this train, whether or not running these trains is good use of the network, is a particular operator offering a good service to freight or passenger customers. So, for example, the passenger operator might be trying to cram in this all-stopping service, but they might have another all-stopping service 10 minutes ahead of it, in which case, no, that's not good use of the network, because you're going to be running an empty train. Get out of here. It's, 1 Zulu 99. Ah, right. A Zulu head code is almost exclusively charter trains or something of that sort. Is that the Royal Train head code, 1 Zulu 99? I could be wrong. I often am. Yes. What happens with rail tours? Rail tours are interesting because how rail tours work basically is some of them will have paths built into the timetable. Some of the bigger ones, like West Coast Rail, will have paths bid in on, say, every Saturday. They might have a path running from Euston to Chester. That doesn't mean that rail tours are classed as 1 Zulu as they're special one-time services and do not fall in line with regular services, so regular services have higher priority over rail tours. Yes, that's true. So an operator like West Coast Rail might have a path in the timetable that is kind of reserving the white space, I suppose. That's not how we term it. That's not legally what it means. But in layman's terms, it's basically them going, we want that path available to run a train in at some point. So that is there. 1 Zulu 99 is Thunderbird. It's a rescue locomotive heading to assist a failed train. It gets priority over everything. Did not know that. Yeah. Yet, see, the signallers do things differently. They prioritise trains based on, how fast they're going, what's happening on the ground on the day and so on. We don't necessarily do that. Our job is basically to try and cram everything in as much as possible. With rail tours, some of the operators will have paths that are just in the timetable in case they want to run a tour on a particular day, and those will just be in the published timetable for, say, a Saturday. More often than not, though, what will happen is rail tours will be bid in as short-term planning paths. So they'll bid in, say, we want to run a train from A to B via C with water stops at D, E and F. And then the planners kind of have to make that work around them. And the reason, like what you were saying, East Coast Steam, about why you keep getting moved into loops to get past passenger trains, that's deliberate. That's been planned like that because your service is more than likely timed to run at no more than 75 miles per hour. It's effectively a freight train for planning purposes. So if you're running, say, down the East Coast Main Line on a 2-track section, and you've got a fast LNER service planned to come up behind you, they'll stick you in a goods loop to let the passing LNER service nip past you, and then you'll be able to join back in. But then there's a freight train following that one that's got to go past as well, so you've got to wait for that, because obviously what complicates things even more is I was talking about, it takes 5 minutes to get from A, 7 minutes to get to B, 15 minutes to get to C. It gets more complicated than that, because of course if you're passing point A and point B, it's going to take you one length of time. If you're starting from point A and passing point B, that's going to take you longer. If you're starting at point A and stopping at point B, that's even longer. You see how it gets complicated. It's a really challenging and fun job. And Dalek San getting in there with a $20 donation. Thank you so much. And I am not smart, but thank you for saying I am. I don't feel very smart. But yes, that is essentially what, as a planner, I do. Except I tend to... My job essentially is to sense check an operating planner working for an operator's work. So they'll send me a bid in and go, here's a bid for Mike 22, and I'll look at for Mike 22 and I'll check it against the engineering access statement to make sure it's not running through any possessions, and then check all of its paperwork. If it's a particular load type, so a container train, a heavy axle weight train, or an exceptional load, they have to provide something called an RT3973 form, which basically describes the type of train and what restrictions it has on the route it can run. So they need to provide a form that covers the type of train they're running and the route that they're planning it on. So I have to check the form to make sure it's compliant with everything in the form and that the form is in fact the correct one. And then once I've done all that, I'll open up the graphs, and they're all different graphs for all the different bits of the network. So you might have, say, 20 graphs open for one train going a particularly long distance. And then you have to check it against other trains. So is it headway compliant? Is it junction margin compliant? Does it have the correct amount of adjustment time for, say, going over junctions and things? And basically check that it's compliant with the rules. If it gets through all that, and we get to the end of the journey, and the train is fully compliant and works, then I've got to roll it over to the next timetable and look at all this again. Because part of the task that my team is given is we say, right, we're bidding the train to the May timetable. If it's successful, please roll it over into the DEC timetable, December timetable. So I've then got to copy that train across to the December timetable, run through all those checks again, and if that then works, I can offer both. If one works and one doesn't, I can offer back the one that does and have to either reject the other one or tell them we need to make changes to it. If neither of them work, they don't work. Yeah. I mean, more often than not, what will happen is you will come across an issue in the first timetable, and then when you roll it over to the following timetable, that same issue will be there. So you'll be able to just roll it over, load up the graph quick and go, right, there was an issue at this location. Yep, there's still an issue at that location, in which case you can then justify rejecting the train. So, yeah. Yeah. I get the impression after both 60103 and 60163 became balked on the King's Cross Peterborough East Coast Main Line, they don't like them on that section. Not many tours come up from King's Cross these days. You say that, there's a date in November where I know for a fact there are 2 coming out of King's Cross. And I know this because one of the locos is stabling at Wansford. So I forget the date precisely, but I know for a fact there are 2 tours coming out of King's Cross that day. Or at least they're path to. Whether they run or not is another matter. Here's a quiz for you. How many of the trains that my department plans, so specifically my team, how many of the trains we work on do you think actually translate to a train running on the day? Just throw some answers in the chat. I want to see what people think. Matt writing timetables for trains, me as a signalman ignoring the timetables and routing trains to different platforms for lols. Apologies, Matt. That's passengers. I don't care about them. They just get in the way of my nice freight trains. 80%. Good guess, Ekage. In with 80%. Any advance on 80%? So bearing in mind what I've told you, that what we are getting from the operators is a bid for a path. It's not necessarily a bid for a train. Short-term planning teams tend to get bids for specific trains. So an operator might say, I need to run this train on, say, Saturday the... What day are we today, actually? Hold on. So our A4C team works day A, train runs on day C. So they've literally got a day to turn that train around. They might put a bid in tomorrow and have a train that they want to run on Saturday the 30th. No, Saturday the 23rd. Sorry, I'm getting confused what date it is. And that turnaround time will translate into a train at the end of it. For the working timetable, I'm not giving out prizes, but if I was East Coast Steam, you would be winning one. It's about 30%. 70% of the work I do is fundamentally pointless. If you look on the graph, you would be forgiven for thinking that around the major freight terminals there's trains moving about all the time. But I know for a fact, because I've done it, that if you go and stand at Acton Main Line on the Great Western Railway and look for trains coming to and from Acton TC or passing Acton TC to go up towards Willesden or over the North London line, you can sit there for an hour and not see a train move. I mean, yeah, there'll be Elizabeth Line trains whizzing up and down in the platform next to you. There'll be Great Western Railway fast services whizzing up and down on the fast lines. Freight trains, nothing for an hour. And yet, if you look on the graph, you'd think there'd be something like one every 15 minutes, or maybe even more frequently than that. It is, on paper, the network is extremely congested. There is very little spare space to play with. In reality, not all of those paths are actually going to run every single time, because there might not be the demand. So if you're a freight operator, for example, you might have a path going from the port of Felixstowe to Daventry, but there might not always be a ship coming in with container goods that's going from Felixstowe to Daventry. So you need the path there in case you do need to run a trainload of containers there. But say you've got a path that runs Monday through Friday. It's a Saturday excluding timetable. So every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, there's a path from Felixstowe to Daventry. Certain trains, certain length, certain times. Say a ship comes in on a Wednesday, and you've got to ship, say, 30 containers from Felixstowe to Daventry. You might run that train on the Wednesday. There's no point running it on the Thursday, because you've taken all the containers off the ship now, and the ship's already gone. There's not another ship coming in on Thursday, so you won't run the train. It's it's about, certainly in my job, which is the permanent timetable, it's about making sure there's a path available if you wish to run that train. Passenger timetables are a bit different because you are bidding to run that train every day. So it's, you know, bit of a different kind of thing. Freight operators run on an ad hoc basis. They will have a path in the timetable to run on certain days of the week and at certain times, but they might not use that path every day or at all. We sometimes have to go to operators and say, hey guys, you haven't used this path for 6 months. We're having that back, thank you very much. And we're going to stick that in our strategic capacity list. So that the operator will then give up the head code, and that will become what we call a QJ path, which is basically, this is a train, but not really. So another operator could then go, oh, we need that little bit of space that QJ path is occupying. Can we utilise that? And we'll then look at their bid and decide whether it's strategically a good use of the capacity. And go, yeah, you can have that, no problem. Let's just get rid of that QJ train. There you go, that white space is available for you. Or we might look at it and go, no, you can't do that because that's not making good use of the capacity. That train's going from A to G, and you're only using tip block B. So no, you can't have that. Yes, operators probably run phantom trains to keep their slots from being reallocated. You may think that. I could not possibly comment. Oh dear. Yeah, Clun Castle is leaving King's Cross on Saturday the 30th September via Peterborough to Lincoln. There you go, Clun Castle. I think that's the one that's meant to be Britannia. But Britannia's in several pieces at the moment. If we have a stream dedicated to this topic, I'll be calling you and joining in. I may do another one on this. There's a game I want to play at some point on the gaming channel called SimSig. I might well be up for doing a stream and talk more about this then. But yeah, it's a really interesting subject if you're a massive nerd like I am. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoy it very, very much. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, so yeah, thank you for indulging me. That's yeah, should be a rule. Unused slots have to run Thomas down them at the operating. I would love to have you in network code meetings, dude. That would be incredible. Oh, that is beautiful. I love it. Very good. Yeah, anyway, that's how train planning works. And to answer your question from earlier that kicked this conversation off, yes, train planning basically is sticking a postcode in a sat-nav in a roundabout sort of way. You stick where you want to go in and where you want to go via, and the software works it out and goes, okay, well, you start at that time, you'll get there at that time. And then you fiddle with it with things like pathing or adjustment time, engineering time, yeah, all of that stuff, and make it work. Stick a dwell in, you know. It's my favourite thing to do. You know, getting a train that doesn't work and going, oh yeah, guys, your train doesn't work, but if I shove you in that goods loop for 5 minutes, then it does work. So, it's great fun. It's a lot of it is a lot of fun. A lot of fun indeed. Right, anyway, I feel like I'm doing false advertising. So let's get to the elephant in the room. I got a parcel last week on Thursday. And it's this. This is the new model. I'm just going to bring the microphone vaguely in this direction so you can hear me talking. This is the 15XX Great Western Region Pannier Tank 060 from Rapido Trains. I've had this on pre-order for absolutely ages because I've driven this loco and I wanted it because it's very pretty. So yeah, let's begin by looking at some of the literature that came in the box. Lot of leaflets. So yeah, there's just a little business card there. This is all of Rapido Trains' social media platforms. They're not sponsoring this video, by the way. I feel like I should clarify that. This is not a sponsored video. Rapido Trains have not given me any money or sent me any free stuff. So my opinion is entirely objective. Disclaimer done. Right, yes. So there's that. They've popped in this from the Kenton East Sussex Railway, the Great Western Railway Diesel Railcar Restoration and Conservation Appeal in memory of Andrew Webb. A little bit of information about that in there. I don't know if someone at Rapido has a connection to this group, but that was included. So if you do buy one of these, you might get one of those in there, and you might be able to make a donation. There's some leaflets in here, advertising future models. Oh, they're running away. So there's this one, which is 44XX 262 tank engine, and some B-set coaches to go with it. They're called a small prairie, these. They're quite pretty. I like them. And then on the back is all the variants of that model that they're going to be making. Nice. And then some more bits here. That's the B-set they were talking about earlier. And again, all the various variations in there. Vans that they're going to make. Plank wagons. They do some private owner wagons. And they are doing custom versions. Which is quite cool. You can literally go to them and ask them to do you a custom private owner wagon. It's not cheap, but it is pretty cool. And then pretty, it shall be mine. They're coming beginning of October, allegedly. I'm very excited. So excited. Cannot wait. Right. Anyway, that's all the literature that came with it. A Yankee tank built in Swindon. Yes, the valve gear is based off the American dock tanks, aren't they? Anyway, let's get the box open. Here we go. It's foam packaging! Yay! Right. Get that out of the way. The manual. Rapido manuals are great. I love their manuals. They're just really quite funny. There's a little bit of information about the loco in here, and about the history and what have you. These were essentially built for empty coaching sort workings in and out of Paddington, but they spread to all over the place, like Southall, Didcot, Seven Tunnel Junction, Cardiff, Canton and Newport. And there's only one left, 1501, bought by the Severn Valley Railway from the National Coal Board, because three of them ended up at the National Coal Board for use at Coventry for about 6 years. So that's exciting. Yep, and then there's sort of technical information about servicing and all the bits. There's information about fitting the decoder. I've got the DCC ready model, so it doesn't have a sound chip in it, because I do not have a DCC layout. But you can buy it and retrofit it, and then there's the list of all the functions there, stuff about the warranty, and so on. And that is all the parts. This is a very, very fiddly model. And there's a photo of the real thing. I've driven that, only from platform 2 at Wansford into the yard, but I have driven it. It's quite nice to drive, very smooth. And there's a photo of number 1500, which sadly no longer around. And some contact information on the back there. So, yeah, there we are. Boom. Owner's manual. Right. Let's lift the model out. I'm cheating a bit because I have already opened this and had a play, but I feel like the unboxing is a part of the process, so we're going to do it anyway. And there's the model. The first thing you notice when you pick it up, it's bloody heavy. It's die cast. Most of this is made from metal. I can't think of another model I've got where that is the case. There's little bits of metal on them, but they're mostly made of plastic. Not this thing. This is a die cast model. This is proper solid. This has got heft behind it. Weighs about 300 grams, according to Sam's Trains, who is a professional and does these things before going on air. Anyway, pop that out of the sleeve. Now, you get this little thing here, which has all your little extra detailing bits. So there's some couplings in there, vacuum pipes, that sort of thing. I've not been able to get any of them fitted because the holes aren't necessarily quite big enough. But I have got a shovel out, which I've glued to the back. I'll show you that in a second. But yeah, you can see there's a little oil can in there, a tiny shovel, couplings, extra lamp irons, that sort of thing. It's all quite exciting. Let's pop this open. There we go. Pop the little thing out. And there she is. Pop the box to one side. You don't need that for the moment. Pack that up in a minute. And here it is. The model in question. Now, like I say, it's bloody heavy. It's really bloody heavy. And if I just have a quick feel over this, all the saddle tanks are metal and the cab sides are metal. The wheels obviously metal. The running motion and the coupling rods are kind of part metal, some plastic. These grab handles here are metal. Yeah, and it is a beautifully detailed little thing. If I bring this up close, you can literally see. Yeah, you can see the metal sheen on it there. And on the side of the cab, you can literally see the individual rivets. It is a stunningly detailed little thing, this. And you can't quite see it because it's not terribly bright. But, actually, if I turn on the... There we go. If I turn on the flash on the mobile phone, you can see the detailing inside the cab. It really is incredible. I'm very pleased. And on the back there, you can see the shovel I glued on just for a bit of extra detail. If we look in the front here, you can see there's some holes where things like your steam heat and vacuum pipes go in. I've not been brave enough to try sort of boring those out and installing them. Now, some criticisms. I've heard a lot of people say the build quality isn't great. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think on the whole it's pretty good. I've only had one issue with it, and that is there's supposed to be, just here if you look, a little valve which fell off. And I only noticed it fell off when I looked back on the photos I posted on Twitter and went, hang on a minute, there's a bit on the cutting mat there, what's that? And then went away and looked at other people's models and saw, yeah, there's meant to be a little valve piece on the side there. I don't know where it's gone. I think it's gone on the floor, in which case I'm never going to find it again. But I can live without it. It's a very minor complaint. And it is a fiddly little piece. So, you know, I mean, if I pop my finger there, it's basically as big as the little brass looking bit there is again. I'm not going to complain about that. It's, you know, things get damaged in transit. You know, quality control ain't perfect. You know, it's fine. The only real criticism I've got is of these little sliding pieces in the cab. If I sort of tilt that upside down, yeah, you can see that just sort of falls out. I could do with a bit more tension on those. I mean, that is a really niggling complaint, but that's the only complaint I've got, really. It would just be nice if those were a little bit less loose. I mean, this one's not that loose. It's a bit of a fiddle to sort of push it to the side. But I like to have it open so you can sort of see through the cab. And this one in particular is a bit loose, and that does sort of fall out from time to time. But that is a really nitpicky type thing. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh no, this is a dreadful model because of that, because it really isn't. It's gorgeous. I love it. It's a genuinely beautiful thing. And when I took it out the box, I was blown away. I mean, I'd seen the pictures, but they really don't do it justice. It is a stunning little thing. Yeah. So that's the model. It's again, like I say, very heavy, mostly metal. You really feel the heft of it as you lift it up. I mean 10 out of 10 for the guys at Rapido, because it is genuinely a stunning piece of work. If I just gently pop it on its side there, and we can maybe have a closer look. Here, there we are. I mean, you can see literally they've gone to a lot of effort to get the details right. Like on the cylinder block there's this little textured piece just on top there. That's really nice. Each rivet has been modelled. I've seen some people say that the number plate on theirs is a bit wonky. I think mine looks all right. I don't see that it's particularly wonky. It looks okay to me. Yeah, it is a stunning little piece of model engineering, and I am super impressed with it. I'm just gonna brush some dust. It somehow managed to accrue off the top there. Right, let's have a brief little look in the chat room, see what you've all got to say. Thoughts on the Polar Express? It's a movie. I want to take a train today, but soon there will be none. Yeah, how Dr. Beeching. Cracking song, cracking sitcom. Is that Duck? It's not. It's similar to Duck in that it's a pannier tank, but it is not Duck. Rapido's pretty good service. I nearly cried when they released the video of the dynamometer cars falling off the trolley. They checked them all and mine arrived safely. Yeah, they are brilliant, Rapido, I have to say. They're a fab little company. And I will rave about them because their customer service is great, and they've produced 3 really solid models that I own so far, which I really, really like. This one included. Yeah, and I can't wait for the Tipfield set to turn up. I'm so excited about that. Genuinely, absolutely thrilled about that. But yeah, this is a lovely model. I am deeply in love with it. Let's pop it on the track and give it a road test. Because although it's a beautiful thing, you want to see it working. So let's turn the phone camera off and pop our way over to the model railway. Here we are. Now I know what you're all thinking. Matthew, those are Midland region carriages. The loco would never have pulled Midland region carriages in service. What do you think you're doing? And my answer to that is, shut up, it's my railway, I'll run what I want. So, let's just give it a teeny bit of power. There we go. Yeah, doesn't take very much, it's already on the move. The crawling speed of these models is incredible. It's genuinely, I am so impressed. They just run beautifully out the box. It's, yeah, and it's, as we're coming around the corner here, you might be able to see just inside the cab there a little firebox glow. Maybe not actually. Might be a bit too far away. We'll fiddle with the camera in a moment and see if we can show you that. But yes, this does have the trademark firebox glow in the cab. Yeah. Now, as you said, I've barely touched the controller, and it's moving really smoothly. So let's kick it up a bit. so we can see how it handles at a bit of speed. Yeah, no issues there. It's got 3 Mark 1s behind it. Doesn't look like it's pulling anything. It's a really well geared, well manufactured model, and it's got some seriously good pulling power behind it. It's dealing with those coaches like they're nothing. Yeah, like I said, you can run it deliberately slowly. I mean, a lot of the older Hornby models, for example, you can't do like really slow speeds with them because they just don't like it. It's all or nothing. But these are really well geared. They work beautifully, and they do so out of the box. I mean, this is a beautiful thing just to watch go round. It really is. Here she comes again. I'm going to move the camera a bit, see if we can catch the firebox glow. Did you create and approve a route plan before running the 15XX? I did. I decided it was going to go in a clockwise direction, and I made sure there was nothing else on the track. It was a super quick job. Right. Turn this camera just slightly, and then see if we can get anything in the... Oh, not quite. Okay, hold on. We might need to bring this round more. There. You'll be able to see the firebox glow as it goes by. Please mind the cat hair. Pay no attention. That's just Rory. Right, yeah, as we go past the camera here, you might just get a little... Oh yeah, you get a little bit of a firebox glow there. Not masses, but a little bit. I might turn the light off on the camera actually, just see if that improves the situation any. You might get a better view then. Here she comes again. Not quite. Okay, I might just need to lift the camera up ever so slightly. We just point it at the train and just follow the cab. Yeah, you could just see a little firebox glow in there. Not very obvious, but you can definitely see it. There we are. Here she comes again. Oh. There we go. Oh. Yeah, you can just about see the little firebox glow in the cab there. Just bring it down here again. Just try and follow the cab round. There we go, can you see? I've no idea if you can see that. Maybe a tad. Anyway. Just drop you back on the floor there. Move the light up as well. There we go. Doesn't that just look fantastic? I'm so pleased with it. It's a lovely little thing. Just, spin the camera around a smidge. There we are. There we are. That's more like it. There we go. Happy days. Okay. Just making my way back to the desk now. I'm just going to have a little sit down. I'm tired now. Don't know why. Anyway. Yeah, stunning little model. 10 out of 10 Rapido. Like I say, they've not sent me any money. They've not sent me any free stuff. This is purely an objective review. And I think it's cracking. So, yeah. 10 out of 10 Rapido. Good job, guys. You done good. Right, what's going on in the chat room? Imp says, although a non-GWR fan is very stunning and fab loco, it absolutely is. It's cracking. Yes, another easy truck enthusiast. I spent ages trying to find this. I eventually found some in America. and got it shipped over here. It cost a fair bit, but I was determined to get some because I wanted it to go around my Christmas tree. So I bought it last year, and I now have a train to go around the Christmas tree, and that makes me very happy. It runs slowly. Oh, never mind. Yeah, it does, but it's nice. Let's see. Human, when should I send the email for the Ask a Dalek rap lyrics? Send it whenever. I will pick it up and find it. Send it whenever you've got it ready. I will pick it up. What else do we have going on here? I think that's everything. Thank you very much, by the way, guys, for your donations. I'm super thrilled by you guys. So Dalek-san. Oh, just Dalek-san. Oh, well. Thank you very much, Dalek-san, because that is cracking. I'm so pleased with that. Thank you. Sent $20, $7.20, and $7.20. Thank you very much. Matt, will you play Train Sim World 4? Yes, I've bought it today because I want to go play with Flying Scotsman. That will be on the channel, gaming channel, next week. So keep an eye for that. I do think it's becoming a bit of a cynical cash grab at the moment, but who am I to judge? I bought the damn thing, so I can't really comment. I didn't buy the most expensive edition. I just got the one that got you the East Coast Main Line and Flying Scotsman because, yeah, it was nice. Yeah, it's a nice looking thing, and I want to go play on the East Coast Main Line with Flying Scotsman. So yeah. Ivor or Thomas? Thomas was the guy I grew up with. Ivor, I think, is just slightly more charming than Thomas in its own way. I feel bad saying that because I love Thomas, but Thomas has been ruined by Mattel. I mean, what is that cartoony nonsense they do with him now? They ruined my boy. But Ivor's pretty timeless. They're making a live-action version, I'm told. That's been in the pipeline for absolutely ages. But I've yet to see it materialise. So who knows if that'll ever happen. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, don't know if that'll ever happen. But I would go watch that if it ever happened. Because I think, yeah. Yeah, apparently Grief Rhys-Jones was attached to it and a couple of other Welsh actors. It's, yeah, I don't know. Well, maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. We'll see. Right. I am gonna pop... Oh. Good, the pump's still working. Oh. Yeah, it's absolutely tipping it down outside. So that's good to know. Pump works. Jolly good. Reassuring. Yeah. Weirdly, no water coming in from under the stairs. Although having said that... Hang on. Hold that thought. Actually, having said that, there is quite a significant amount of water coming in from under the stairs. Yes. Interesting. Yeah, but we know the pump works, which is the important thing. So, yeah. No, like live action Ivor the Engine, I mean, sorry, not live action Thomas. Yeah. There we go. There we are. There we go. Oh, I popped the owner's manual in, hadn't I? Yeah. No, don't worry, it's not going to flood. But I've got the old canal system in now, so it all just flows into the sump and disappears. The only thing that might be a slight issue is my toolbox, but I think we're good. Yeah, we're fine. Yeah, all good. Let me just have a little look under here. Yeah, it's not exactly full. It's, yeah. Let me show you my canal network real quick. Hold on. In fact, while I think of it, let me just show Or have I removed all the cardboard? Yes, I have. Good. And is everything going nicely? Yes, it is. Good, good, good. Good, good, good. Okay. Right. Yeah. See, this is not a disaster anymore. It's just a thing that happens, and we got to deal with it. It's all fine. Yeah. Let me just real quickly show you the canal network. It's certainly a thing. So if we come over here, you can see, yes, there is some water trickling in from under the door there. But let's just turn the light on real quick. Ooh, a bit dusty down here. You can see my dad dug out this little network of canals. So the water comes in from under the stairs here, goes into these, and just sort of trickles off and disappears. It's yeah, it's neat. It's all a bit grimy down there, unfortunately, where it really got wet in the past. It's never dried out enough to fix it, so it's a bit grim down here. But I have put a sign in, just because why not? It's I wanted a sign, so I got a sign. But yeah, you can see there the water's just trickling in and disappearing off like that. Not a big deal, would have been before, not so much. Anyway, let's pop you down there. There we are. Sorted. Yet again I saved the day, no thanks to the inferior human. Anyway. Just having a little sip of the old tea. Anyone got anything they want to talk about? Anything they want to ask? Anything they want me to do? Do you want me to get another train out? I'm just throwing suggestions out at you really at this point. Live action Thomas movie quite costly. Yeah, there shouldn't be a live action Thomas movie. We've all heard of the debacle that was Thomas and the Magic Railroad. It's let's not repeat that. That was a whole thing. It's yeah. Let's not go there. Pop business card in the box as well. There we go. Hey. Now, should I get Train Sim World 4 Special Edition? I'd say if you're not a massive railway enthusiast, just get it when it's on sale, when Train Sim World 5 comes out. That would be my suggestion. It's, yeah, probably not worth getting it brand new if we're entirely honest. Right. I don't think I've got any super glue left. Oh, yes I do. There we are. My little oil can sign broke. I'm gonna try and fix it because that's a thing I can do. So, right. Come on, unscrew your sod. There we go. Right. So. It's a little bit bendy, but we'll give it a crack. Just a little dribble of glue there, a little dribble there. There we go. Hopefully that will stick. There. Done and done. Oh, just glued my hand to the table. That wasn't very clever. 2. There we go. And it's now stuck to my hand. This is going well. Oh, hello. That's sticking quite nicely. Come on, there we are. Good on there. Well, that's just stuck to my finger now. Never mind. Okay. Can Tornado come out to play? Yeah, why not? I'll do that in a minute. Let me just wait for this glue to stop being sticky, and then then I might fetch it out. I might go wash my hands actually. Yeah, I made a boo-boo there with the old super glue. I fear. Never mind. That was daft. Right, what else have you got to say? Matt is superior, thank you. Can I beat the obese humanoid in the top hat? His ability to enslave sentient locomotives would be useful to the Dalek course. Oh dear. Any plans for any new specials? Lots. Dalek December, coming December. Groundhog Day of the Daleks. Finished that this week. It's really, really funny. I'm looking forward to you all seeing it. Secret video that I'm not going to tell you about, and Brit the filmmaker, aka Brit Animations, aka Rory, is working on a remake of another video I made a long time ago now, so watch out for that. And there's going to be a sequel to a video I made absolutely ages ago, which I'm not going to spoil. But yeah, it's all of that coming in December. Very exciting. Any particular simulator on SimSig you tried or enjoyed singling? I've skimmed it. There's a few that I like the look of, but I've not done masses of them. I got the one for Bletchley because it's my hometown, and I just want to tinker around where I live. Tell me about the secret video. I'm giving Derek your credit card information. He already has that. And I've got an unfinished 7mm Iver sitting in the drawer. I've got an unfinished SM32 Iver sitting somewhere. It's a cardboard model, and I ballsed it completely. And I think the guy got bored of me asking to send new bits because I ballsed them up. I've not been brave to carry on with it. I will one day, because it's a nice kit, but it's a bit fiddly. So yeah, it's literally got to cut things out yourself. Sent lines, never mind that. Question is, why do you love trains? What's not to like about trains? Trains are great. Trains are fantastic. Yeah, get into trains. They're harmless. Well, no, not entirely, but trains are great. I like trains. Steam trains, particularly. I'm not a big fan of, like, modern trains. You know, it's because, boring, dull. Steam trains, though. Steam trains are great. Love steam trains. Ah! Mm. Oh, I think that is stuck to the cutting mat. Yeah, balls that. Failure belt. Yeah. Okay, see if that sticks this time. think that's stuck, and I've also glued my arm to the table. This is going well. Ah, no, it's fallen off. Damn. I might just give up with this. It's, yeah. Never mind. It was fun while it lasted. Yeah, I think that's dead. Never mind. It was worth a shot. Oh well. I've still got the sign. That's the important thing. Not to worry. I'll just get rid of that. Right, I'm going to go wash my hands, get rid of the glue I stuck to it. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. I'm back. Water's coming in quite quickly now, which is concerning. No, it's fine. It's not overwhelming the canal, which is the important thing. Yeah. No, it's fine. It is all good. No issues at all. Everything is fine. Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. The Raging Bull, by the way, is the nickname that 1501 had on the Severn Valley Railway when they first brought it back into Steam. Yeah, so that's why the title of the stream, by the way, in case anyone was interested. Let's see. What's your favourite locomotive enslaved by the evasive human in the top hat? Probably Edward. I like Edward. Cool guy. My 7mm is the same. It functions, etc. But I lost the transfers somewhere for the no, I'm not going to try and say that. Yeah. What Mattel did to Thomas. Thomas was better as a model train. Thomas was so great back in the day. Not anymore, though. The books are always the best. I find fan-made stories are much better written and adapted than the reboot. Big time. Incorporate your canal into a model railway. I am planning to put a canal on any future model railway I make. I think that would be a lot of fun to try and include. Yeah, I'd like to do that. That sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah. Let's go back to the train. Just rumbling away on the floor there. There we go. Nice. Whee! Let's try and get the focus right. There we are. Oh, no, not like that. The floor's a bit uneven over here. That's the problem I'm experiencing. Hold on. I just derailed it. No! No, come back. Hang on. Start running back to here. There we go. Sort the focus out on the camera while I'm here. There we go. Right. Settings. Video input. Camera control. Focus up. That's the one. There we go. Nice. Nice! Right then. There we are. That's the stuff. Right then. There we go. If you put a canal on the model railway, please have a boat similar to Joshua Jones, but I don't know who that is. Have I ever seen a model railway incorporate real water and boats? Miniature Wonderland has boats, and I don't understand their control. I've never seen that. I have seen a garden railway at an exhibition, not in person, but I've seen photos of it, where they incorporated real plants, and that is great. What do you think of my new look? I'm now a time strategist. It's a good look. I approve. Let's see here. Pull the camera back ever so slightly. There we are. That's better. Right. I might turn autofocus back on. Just see if that improves the experience any. You never know. What's the worst that can happen? That's the exposure. That's the one I want. There we are. Perfect. Nice. Has that improved the experience? I don't know. Let's see. Oh. So yeah, coming up in the future, hopefully in October sometime, we'll have the Titfield Thunderbolt model to have a look at. I'm so excited for that. I really am. Yeah. I am tingling with anticipation. Yeah, let's not talk about the biggest little railway train ferry, because I know for a fact that on the run-up to the train ferry, a lot of people were saying to the production team, you know this is a terrible idea. You're going to lose the engine in the canal. The engine is going to fall in the canal. No, listen, the engine is going to go in the canal. And what happened? Oh no, the engine's gone in the canal. Oh, so funny. Never mind. What can you do? I don't know what else I've got to say, really. Not a lot. Yeah. I'm going to load up the cameras and have a little look at what the weather's doing outside. I feel like that might be a thing that might be quite fun to look at. Let's do that. Live view, here we go. Driveway, front door, alleyway, back door. Oh yeah, here's a good illustration of how bad it is. Let's pop the full screen on and then flick you on over to the desktop view. It's a bit wet out. Yeah, if I come off of that and we have a look at the driveway, yeah, it's a bit damp. It's extremely damp. Yeah, it's been tipping it down for absolutely hours. It started not long before I left work, and it's been going for about 4 hours, I think. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all. At least the garden's getting a good soak, which it needs, so, you know, small mercies. Just a shame about the flooding. It's good though, because I know the pump's working, the canal's working, so all the water is being channeled along the edge of the room and into the sump in the corner, which is a vast improvement into what it was doing before. So yeah, I'm not going to get any drowned Daleks again, which would have been terrible. Yeah, hooray, happy days. Right. Oh. That is now glued to the floor. That is just a thing now. Fine. Let's try and peel that glue off. Yeah, since I'm here. There we go. That's got it. Nice. Happy days. Do with a little dust around there. I've got an anti-back wipe. Let me just there we go. The desk a bit of a wipe down. It's getting a bit dusty in this corner. Better. I cleaned all the workshop bit last week because while I was down here working, I spilled a bottle of Lucasade all over the desk because I'm clever. So it's had a good wipe down over this side, but there's this back corner here has not really had a going over. So while I'm here, I thought, why not just give it a bit of a dust. A little bit of dust. Dust. There we go. There we go. Nice. Much better. That looks a great deal better. Nice. Throw that away. Oh. Ah, the rain. Love the rain. Coming down. Making the ground wet. Moistening the landscape. What am I saying anymore? I don't know. I give up. Time to build multiple dams. Yes, indeed. TMC of the Dynameter car on offer with 10% off code. Nice! Well, go check that out, guys. That's awesome. There we go. Right. Oh. When does the Groundhog Day episode release? December. I think that one is the first video we're releasing in December, so it will be out on Saturday the 2nd, or if you want to see it early, it will be out for channel members on the 30th of November. So December is a good time to become a channel member if you want to see stuff early. Yeah. Nice. Ah. Yeah, I think the problem is the wall between my house and next door's is not an original part of the building. The wall was added in later because I think the cottage was split into two at one point in its history. My next door neighbour's sump pump doesn't work. I know that for a fact because they've told me it doesn't work. So whenever their cellar floods, it comes through the wall, out under the stairs, and flows downhill to the sump, which unfortunately is across the room. Hence the canal network, which is now taking care of that. But yeah, it'll do this for a couple of days and then dry, and it'll be fine. Bye, Iratina. I'll do your lines at some point. Any plans for tea time with Matt? I want to do more tea time with Matt. I just haven't found the time. I might do a Christmas special. I'll see how I feel. Yeah. I mean, I got all excited today when Rishi was going to do a speech, because I genuinely got quite excited he was going to call the snap election. But no, big letdown, sadly. But yeah. Not a thing that's happened, unfortunately. But never mind. Next time around, when there's an election, I will certainly be doing an election special, because I have thoughts. And yeah. How old is your cottage? I've got deeds upstairs that go back to the 1870s, I think. So it's got to be a little bit older than that. Because originally when this was built, it was farm cottages. All of this was fields and farmland. And then Bletchley sort of been built up around it. It was a little terrace of 2 cottages at one time. And then there were some older cottages a little further down the road from me in that sort of a direction. Yeah, so it's been around for a while. It's a proper old building, so it's got all of the old building problems you would expect. Unfortunately, those problems have been exacerbated by the fact that it's been modernised, but that's been done on the cheap. So I'm, as the current owner, having to pick up the pieces of the cheapskates that previous owners were. They had some right cowboys in here. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this floor, for instance, it should slope from that corner of the room down to that corner of the room, which it does, just there's some lumps in it. So you get water pooling down in this corner. and not flowing away, which is what it's supposed to do. A cellar should basically be like that sort of thing. I mean, that's a bit extreme. But basically, water should come in at the top and flow down to the corner where the sump is, and then be pumped out. No, this floor is not like that. It goes, hey, it's lumpy. It's not great. It's not great at all. But what can you do? My house is roughly the same age. I get water in the roof, all the doors are different sizes, and I still have the outdoor pog. Fair dues. Ours doesn't have an outdoor loo, but it does have an indoor one, which is fortunate. That's been done cheap as well. The toilet's coming out of the wall, where the bathroom has been refurbished and not done very well. That's next on our list to sort, because we've got the extension sorted now. Which fixed the problem with the roof, so we no longer get water coming in through the kitchen roof. And what is now Jacob's room is now the nicest room in the house. I'm very jealous, quite frankly. The bathroom's the next thing. We need to get that sorted, because it's, again, been done on the cheap and not very well. So, yeah, that's the next big project. And then once all the big projects have been ticked off, I'll start looking at converting the loft into either a studio or a model railway room. Because if I'm putting the studio up there, the model railway will go down here. Need to work out what's going to be the best option there. Anywho, let's have a look at the train. We were going to get Tornado out to play. That's what we were going to do. So, let's say a very quick goodbye to 1501, which is fantastic. I recommend if you like your model trains and you want something that's nicely detailed, I highly recommend picking one up. You can get them at model railway stockists at the moment. The nice thing about Rapido is they only do like limited runs of things, so they do a small number of models that are really nicely detailed. So yeah, I recommend you pick one of these up if it's your cup of tea, because it is a lovely model and I love it very much. Anyway, you're going to go in the drawer now, and I'll show you where it's going to go in the drawer. Let me just pick up the camera and show you. There's the drawer. So 1501 is going to sit there next to 1401 and the Hunslets. There we are. So she is in the drawer. Right. Let's get Tornado out to play. Right. I think we're good. Away we go. Oh, both front bogies have come off. No. How about now? Let's try that. That's better. Yay! Much better. No, it's not. It's Tornado. Still plumbed but not switched on, otherwise it will freeze over. Yeah, that's not ideal. You don't want a frozen loo. It's the last thing you want. Any final thoughts before we wrap up this stream? I've enjoyed this. This one's been fun. I've enjoyed it immensely. It's the one from Top Gear. Yes, it is. It is indeed the one from Top Gear. Looks quite nice with those maroon coaches behind it. Part of me wants to get more Backman Easy track so I can run trains all around the house. Yes, it is the Railroad Tornado. I've also got the BR Blue one, but that's at my parents' house. Oh, there goes the pump again. Good to know it's working. Hey. Yeah, if I bought more Backman Easy track, I could basically set up a railway to run round the entirety of my ground floor, which would be fun. But I fear my wife would kill me, so no, not likely to happen. I could do just a long one like round the living room and round the dining table and such. That might be quite good fun. No, Matthew, stop it. Oh dear, excuse me. Worn out now. You've worn me out, you lot. I hope you enjoyed this one anyway. This was a fun little stream. And in summary, if you're a model train enthusiast and you can, pick yourself up one of these because they're really nice. Yeah, I'm going to take mine round to my friend Dick's house at the weekend and have a play with it there. So there'll be some photos on the internet at some point. Incidentally, I am bailing from the cesspit that is Twitter. By which I mean I'm still on Twitter, but I've also got alternatives. So if you wanna go follow me in other places, you can do that now. I have a Blue Sky account now. That is my Blue Sky account. So if you have a Blue Sky account, go follow me on there. I haven't got any invite codes yet, so please don't ask. When I do get some invite codes, I may start divvying them out to people. I don't know, we'll see. But if you already have an account, go follow me on there. I refuse to call it that. I am also on, as well as being the website formerly known as Twitter, Mastodon, which is the elephant one. Let me get you the address for that, so you can stick that in there too. Mastodon is not invite only, but you have to be on the right server to follow me. So yeah, just go hit me up on there. It's yeah, it's none of these things are as active as Twitter, I will say that, but that they aren't a cesspit. You know, I mean, Blue Sky is great. It looks a lot like Twitter used to look, only with no ads and way less Nazis. So yeah, and I'm not saying Nazis in the, you know, oh, everyone who disagrees with me is a Nazi type terminology. I do mean literal Nazis. Because that just seems to be endlessly what my Twitter feed is now. Nazi, 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 Nazi. Oh, not a Nazi. Oh no, sorry, Nazi. Yeah, Twitter is a cesspit now. And apparently Elon is going to start charging for it soon. So, bye. Bored of your nonsense now. I think the front bogies have come off again. Yeah. There we go. That's better. Oh no, maybe not. Just the front wheels on now. Oh yeah, totally he will. Musk is basically what happens when grown-ups don't grow up and get lots of money. Yeah. So, anyway, yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, go follow me on those two apps if you want to. They're way more fun. In fact, if you want to find me anywhere on the internet, the easy thing to do is go find my link tree. That shows you where all my stuff is. It's got all of my various YouTube channels on there, all of my social media, the Discord server, and my merch store. I've got a merch store now. It's just Tea Time with Matt stuff at the moment, but yeah, if you want to go and get yourself a t-shirt or a mug with Tea Time with Matt on it, you can do that now. So yeah, go look up my merch store. Powered by Spring. Other brands are available. Yeah. I'm going to go to bed now, I think. Thanks for joining me, guys. Hope you enjoyed the show. It's a recommendation from me. This is a really nice model. I recommend you go pick one up if that's your kind of thing. Yeah. This is why I don't do reviews. I'm just not very good at them. Anyway, thanks for joining me, guys. Have a fantastic week ahead. Next week, we're going to be over on the gaming channel, probably doing Train Sim World 4. And I might do a Sims Extreme the week after that. I don't know. I'll see how I feel. Zach, hit me up. And yes, we do need to have a meet-up at some point. Yes. What else is going on there? Matt being a bad human for torturing dinosaurs. I haven't tortured any dinosaurs today. Anyway, thanks for joining me, guys. Have a good week. I'll see you again very, very soon.